Hey, what's up? It's Nathan Williams with Crazy Marketing. Now this video right here is a compilation of several videos that help make up the course that you're taking right now. Now to help you navigate through everything, I've provided timestamps down below in the description, so I recommend going, check out those timestamps, watching what's relevant to you. Let's get into it. In this video, I want to talk about lists. So a list is where your subscribers' contact info is stored, so name, email, phone number, etc. And there's basically two ways to use lists within ActiveCampaign. The first way is to have many lists and then to use those lists to segment your subscribers. If you're familiar with Aweber at all, it runs off a list. So basically somebody's on a list and then whatever list they're on, they're going to get those emails that are associated with that list. And one thing that's a downside of Aweber is that if you have the same subscriber on multiple lists, it counts as multiple subscribers, so your pricing adds up. Well, ActiveCampaign, they don't care how many lists you have. You can have a subscriber on 1,000 different lists and it's still going to count as one subscriber. So that's the nice thing about ActiveCampaign is they don't care how many lists you have. It comes down to how many subscribers, unique subscribers you have within your entire ActiveCampaign account. The other way to use a list is to have one list and then use tags and other conditions to segment that list. Now this is my recommendation, is to have one list per business. Again, one list per business, and then use tags to segment your subscribers. And that's what I'm actually going to teach in this course, is to have one list and then use tags to segment, trigger automations, and do everything else. I think it's a much cleaner way to keep everything organized and a much better way to run your ActiveCampaign account. So now let's head over to ActiveCampaign and set up a list. So here I am in my ActiveCampaign account, and what I want to do is go to lists, pretty self-explanatory, right? And then we can do create a new list or add a list. I'll hit add a list, and list name, Crazy Eye Marketing. List URL, self-explanatory. And list description, you requested more information from Crazy Eye Marketing. And add. And boom, just like that, we have our list set up. And again, my recommendation is one list per business, one list per business, one list per business. That's it for this video. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the training. Real quick, I have a special offer that I want to present to you where you can get a digital copy of my book as well as an audio copy. Plus, I'm giving away 20 pre-written emails that make your email writing a piece of cake. And finally, I have a 7-figure funnel. It's the first funnel that I built that generated over 7 figures for a small business, and it includes training on how to actually set up the funnel. If you're interested in that, plus several other bonuses, link in the description down below, or there'll be a link in the little box up above here. So if you're interested, check it out. Back to the training. In this video, we're going to discuss fields. So fields contain information that is unique to that subscriber. So where a tag, you might have the same tag applied to thousands of subscribers. With fields, it's going to be unique to that individual subscriber. So for example, there's name. Now, there might be several subscribers with the same name, but for the most part, name is a unique identifier. Email, of course, is unique to each subscriber. Phone number, again, unique to each subscriber. Address, unique to each subscriber. And then depending on your configuration, you might have other fields like expiration date or birthday or things of that nature, where you want to keep track of unique information per different subscribers. So let's go over to ActiveCampaign and set up some custom fields. So inside of ActiveCampaign, we want to go to lists, and then we want to go to manage fields. And of course, this is where we can go ahead and manage our fields. So at the top, we have contacts. So this is unique fields per contacts. And then if you have the CRM, there's also deals fields. And we'll come back through this when we're setting up the CRM. Let's stick with contacts right now. And then we got some filtering options, so we can filter our fields. So if you have a bunch of different custom fields and you want to filter for, text input or drop down or list box or whatever you want to filter for, you could go ahead and do that here. You could also filter for different lists. So if you have different fields for different lists, you could filter based upon that list. You could also search. You could add a group or add a field. So right now we just have one group, which is general details. But let's say we want to add another group. And we'll just call this one shipping. So this will be our shipping group. And now we could go ahead and add fields to our shipping group that pertain to like shipping information. So let's do add a field. We'll say address 1 and shipping. And we can go ahead and select the field type. So we got text input, text area, date, obviously that's a date field, drop down, so if you want to give people options to choose from, list box, so if we want to let them choose between different lists to join, we could go ahead and add that here. Radio button, so they can only select one option out of a selection, or checkboxes so they can select multiple options. And then there's hidden field, so they can't see it, but it's like pre-selected for them. Now since we're doing an address, we probably want to do text input and add. So we got an address field, we can add another one, address to, and shipping, and text input and add a field, state, and shipping, and we'll leave it text input and add, and so on. So I think you understand the concept there. I won't go ahead and add all the address fields, but that's how it would go ahead and happen. Now let's go ahead and add one for birthday, just in case. So add a field, we'll call this one birthday, and we'll leave this under the general details, and we're gonna select date. Now, one thing that's pretty cool about date is you can trigger automations based on dates. So having someone's birthday could be beneficial because you could trigger an automation for someone's birthday, wishing them a happy birthday. Now that's of course assuming you have their birthday, so you can do that, but if you have dates for other options like an expiration date or something like that, you're able to trigger automations based off of those dates. So dates are pretty cool because you can do more with them than these other custom field options. So we'll just do date and add. So that's really it for this video. I just wanted to show you how to set up those custom fields. In one of these follow-on videos, we'll go into editing the contacts and you'll see where these custom fields come into play. But this is it for now. In this video, we're going to talk about adding people to your list, and there's many ways to do it, and we're going to cover a few of them in this video right here. So one of the first ways is by using the ActiveCampaign Form Builder, and we're going to include how to use the Form Builder in this video, so we'll come back to it soon. You can also import a list, so if you already have a list on another CRM solution, you can go ahead and upload it into ActiveCampaign and use that. You can also manually add individuals, so if you want to go in there and type people's names, emails, phone numbers, etc., you can do that, or have them fill out their own information, like if you have a store or a business and they're in person, you can have them fill out their information and manually add their contact information to ActiveCampaign. You can also use their API and plugins, so like Opt-in Monster or ConvertBox or 1,000 other opt-in form tools you can go ahead and use in order to add people to your ActiveCampaign list. So there's thousands of different tools that integrate with ActiveCampaign and let you grow your email list that way. For example, there's shopping cart platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, etc. that can all integrate with ActiveCampaign. Again, opt-in software like Opt-in Monster or ConvertBox, etc. And since there's literally thousands of ways to integrate with ActiveCampaign, I'm not going to include 1,000 different videos right here. So I recommend if you have a platform that you're trying to integrate with ActiveCampaign, use Google. I'm sure there's a tutorial on it. And if you're having trouble, of course, reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help you out. So don't feel like you're left in the dark or anything like that. But Google is your friend here because there's just too many options and I don't even know where to start. All right, also there's Zapier. So Zapier integrates with 1,000 plus different other tools. And if you can't make your particular tool, your shopping cart, whatever, integrate with ActiveCampaign, if it integrates with Zapier, well, you can make it integrate with ActiveCampaign. So that's also a viable option. So now let's head over to ActiveCampaign and check out their form builder. So here we are in ActiveCampaign, and what we want to go ahead and do is go to Forms right here. And it gives us a little tutorial about how forms just got easier. Who cares? Close it out. We'll do create a form, and now we can go ahead and name our form. I'm going to go ahead and call it demo. And then we have different form styles. So we got inline form. So this basically embeds a form on your website wherever you want to embed it. There's floating bar, so that makes like a bar across the top of your browser that floats there, and people could click on it and subscribe to your email list. There's floating box, so a little box in the bottom right hand corner. And then there's modal, i.e. if somebody clicks on something on your website, it'll pop this form up and they can enter their contact information and subscribe to your list. Now in the light version, you're only going to be able to do the inline form, so that's all that will be available. But if you have the pro version or greater, you should see these other options. And again, you can use a third-party tool like Opt-in Monster or ConvertBox and basically create whatever forms you want. Like I've never used these advanced forms within ActiveCampaign because I use third-party tools. I use ConvertBox. It's a freaking awesome tool. And you can create really great opt-in forms using that tool. So anyway, we're going to go with inline form as that applies to most everyone. And then we can select our actions. So we got subscribe to a list, add a tag, add to a deal, email results. So of course we want to subscribe the individual to a list, right? They're filling out their form. They need to subscribe to a list. And then we want to go ahead and add an action potentially. We can go ahead and add a tag. So if somebody opts in for a lead magnet, for example, demo, we could go ahead and add a tag which would trigger an automation, which would send them the lead magnet, and so on. Now we haven't gotten to automations quite yet, but that's essentially how it works. I just wanted to show you that you can add multiple actions to your forms. So I'm just going to wipe those out real quick and we'll go on to the form builder. So create. So here we are in the form builder, and it is essentially a WYSIWYG editor. So what you see is what you get. So you got your headline up here, and you can go ahead and change that right over there. If I typed it correctly, so blah, blah, blah. We got other fields. We could go ahead and move around or delete if we want to. I'll go ahead and delete that one. We could go ahead and click on the different fields and edit like the header or the default text, make it required or not required, etc. Pretty self-explanatory stuff. If you have custom fields that you want to go ahead and use on your form, you can drag them over here, like address 1, address 2, click into them, make them required or not required, etc. You can come over to standard as well if you're not seeing some fields. So if you want to do first name, last name instead of full name, you can do that, phone number, organization, etc. Here's where you can add like HTML code. So drag that over here, and you could add HTML code to your heart's content if you know HTML. So you can go ahead and do quite a bit of different optimizations over here on your form by moving the fields over. And then if we come over to style, we can customize it even more by changing like the layout, changing the color if we want to. We can change the border, a whole bunch of different options over here. Pretty self-explanatory, intuitive. Now one thing you probably want to do is turn off the AC branding right here. So unless you want to advertise ActiveCampaign on your opt-in form, you probably want to turn that off. So there you go. And again, I very rarely ever use this option. I always use a third-party tool. ConvertBox is what I use, but again, there's thousands of them out there, so this form builder might not apply to you at all. So we'll just go through it kind of quickly in case you need it for whatever reason. So let's say I'm happy with my form. Come over to options, and we have on submit. So we can choose to show a message, like show thank you message. So thanks for signing up, and it's just a little blurb that pops across after they submit the form. Or you could go ahead and redirect them to a URL. This is what you probably want to do so that way you can track those opt-ins and conversions. So you could go ahead and plug in your thank you page, crazyimarketing.com/TY. It's not a real page, but let's just say that TY is my thank you page, and that's where I want my leads to go. So I can plug that in right there. Form action, this comes back to like what we had set up previously. So if you were like, oh shoot, I should have added a tag when they subscribed, you can go ahead and add that here. So you could add a tag and customize your form action right there. Also, this is big key right here. So if you click this gear option, we have different actions, and the main thing here is opt-in confirmation. So this is on by default. And what opt-in confirmation means is essentially double opt-in. So someone's going to fill out their form, they're going to receive an email, and that email is going to be like, hey, are you sure that you want to subscribe to this person's email list? Click here to confirm your subscription. So they're going to have to click a link in order to confirm their subscription, in order to get the lead magnet or whatever it is they requested. So there's some pros and cons to doing double opt-in. I'm not going to cover them right here, but my typical recommendation is to get as many people on your list as possible, and they can unsubscribe themselves or go inactive, and you can remove them later on and clean your list that way. So my recommendation is to turn off double opt-in, so that way, again, more people on your list and they can unsubscribe, or you can remove them later, but don't make them go through a bunch of hoops in order to get them on your list. that's my thoughts and opinion on the matter. You can Google it, find 50% of the arguments for double opt-in, 50% of the arguments against double opt-in. So whatever floats your boat. I am in the boat of no double opt-in. All right, save. And then advance, allow blank fields to overwrite existing field data. I always turn this off. I don't want somebody to like not fill out a field that's not required and then overwrite like their name or something like that. Like if I already have their name, I don't want to overwrite it with blank data, right? So I always just turn that off. And then we can go to integrate. So now there's a few options to integrate our form. We can go ahead and embed the form. So there's simple embed and full embed, and they both have their own options. Like full embed includes all the CSS code and everything, so you can customize it more. Simple embed is basically just like the form embedded on your website. So you can paste this code, either one of these, on your website anywhere you want, and your form will pop up there. Alternatively, you can share this link to people. So if you want to send somebody to your form, get them to fill it out, you send them that link. They'll be brought right to the form, fill it out, submit it, and boom, just like that. So this is what I use most of the time when I use this form builder. Is I just send them a direct link and they can fill it out. And then we got WordPress integration, so you gotta get the plugin and all this other stuff, and then Facebook, and you gotta follow a bunch of instructions. I never use these options, just link and or embed. And then we'll go to save and exit, and boom, just like that, we have a form that people can fill out and add themselves to our list, and that is it for this video. In this video, we're going to discuss contacts and editing contacts. So we'll come to contacts in ActiveCampaign. And then right here, we have a list of contacts, and this is all of our contacts. Now we can go ahead and export this list of contacts. So I recommend exporting your list, once a week, once a month, something like that. So that way you have a backup in case something happens. You never know in this world when you might get banned or blocked, or the entire business might go out of business and you lose everything. So I recommend exporting kind of regularly. You could also import contacts. So if you have a list from another email service provider like Aweber or MailChimp or something like that, you could go ahead and import them here. You can also manually add contacts one at a time by clicking this button, and we're going to go into that real quick. So add a contact. So let's say we got, Nathan plus demo2 at crazyimarketing.com. Nathan demo2, phone number, whatever, and add. And then we have a few options here, so we can go ahead and add them to a list. So we definitely want to do that. If you have the CRM solution, you can go ahead and add them to a deal if you have that all set up. I don't have that set up yet, so not going to worry about it. If you have tags, you can go ahead and add tags, like you want to subscribe them to a lead magnet or something like that. You could go ahead and add that right here. And then advanced list options, we could go ahead and set as active or inactive. And then we have several other options here. I don't recommend messing with advanced list options. I've never touched it in my life, so you probably don't need to touch it either. So we won't worry about that. We'll minimize that and hit apply. So now I have 2 contacts. And what I could do is edit all. I'll come back to that in just a second, but I want to show you these filters real quick. So if you want to filter your contacts by tags or list or status, or search for contacts for any particular domain or something like that, you could go ahead and do that right here. So this could be very beneficial. There's also segmenting options that I'll show you at a later point in this course. So you could segment based off of tags, how long they've been subscribed, and all sorts of different segmenting options. And we'll get into that later on. All right, so coming back to edit all. So let's say you want to edit all the subscribers that you've selected right here. You can select this box right here to select them all, edit, and then you can go ahead and apply different actions to this individual. So you can add them to a list, unsubscribe them from a list, add to an automation, remove from automation, add a tag, remove a tag, update a field, and so on. So I use this quite a bit, this bulk editing feature, to add a tag and do like a promotion. So I'll have a segment of individuals that I want to promote something to, and I'll select that segment, add a tag to them, which triggers an automation, and that automation hopefully sells lots of different things to those individuals. So bulk editing is very popular, I would say, and very convenient. So you can bulk edit. Alternatively, you can click into each individual subscriber and edit their information right here. So if you want to edit their name, you click on it. If you want to edit their email, you click on it. Phone number, you click on it. It's shocking, right? All right, so then we got general details. So you can go ahead and add tags here, add lists here, add automations here. And then if you have custom fields, like I have my shipping fields right here, I could go ahead and add that information as well. You could also keep track of tasks, notes, emails, and conversations. Now, conversations is an advanced feature. I think you need the Pro plan, or you might need a more advanced plan than the Pro plan even to have conversations. So you might not see that option here, but you should see tasks, notes, and I believe email. So you could go ahead and add a contact task by clicking here, or note, or send an email, and so on. So if you want to keep track of things through ActiveCampaign, you can use these options. Alternatively, you could of course manually email somebody from your Gmail account or whatever email account you use, right? So that's how you go ahead and can manage your clients. If you have the CRM solution, you could go to all deals and do stuff with deals. Not gonna discuss this right here because I have a whole section on the CRM. So ignore that if you're not using it. And then over here on the right hand side, we have recent activities. So right here we have a running list of what the individual has done. Have they opened an email, clicked on an email, done whatever, right? So we can kind of see how active this individual is. We could also filter their activities based off of emails, notes, sites, and event tracking, automations, campaign activity, etc. So that's how you go ahead and can edit individual subscribers as well as bulk subscribers as well as add subscribers, and that's pretty much it for this video. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed the training. Now I have a quick special offer for you. So if you want a digital copy as well as an audio copy of my book here, as well as 20 pre-written emails to make your email copywriting a piece of cake. And I also have a 7-figure funnel. It's the first funnel that I built that generated over 7 figures of revenue for a small business. And the funnel includes a course on how to set it up and also how to actually sell that funnel to small businesses. So if you're interested in starting a digital marketing agency, that course and that funnel are an ideal option for you. And there's a bunch of other benefits and stuff, bonuses and stuff. Anyway, link in the description down below, or there's going to be a little button probably up here in the video if you're interested in checking it out. Yeah, just check it out if you're interested. And other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the day.